Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome to our beautiful, wonderful, soulful morning. Let's start our wonderful morning by closing our eyes, sitting straight in gratitude, being grounded to Mother Earth. Feel the energy of Mother Earth going through your wonderful feet. Get back in alignment with the energy flow in your body. The breathing in and the breathing out are also forms of energy. Energy is what the world has. Energy is what we are made up of. So get in sync with your energy flow. Scan your body right now on your head. The energy in your head right now is trying to get in alignment with your body, is trying to close off the monkey mind chattering, any kind of thoughts that are coming apart from what we are meditating on, if there are any. That's the energy that's in there. So thank your conscious mind to be aware, and thank your subconscious mind to have all the wisdom stored in it. Thank your Sahasrara Chakra for helping bring in the bluish white healing light all the time, the spiritual light from the heavens above, from the universe around. And feel the gush of this bluish white healing light entering your mind and healing your conscious mind. The conscious mind that's a victim of so much of food that it's been fed, the junk food it's been fed. What makes you artificially happy doesn't mean it's right for you. So any stimulation on the outside, which gives you temporary happiness, is just a stimulation. It is not true eternal love or happiness. And that is junk for your mind. Everyone, each one of us knows what's right for ourselves. And yet, at times, we are stuck in a loop, unable to break out of it. It's not like efforts haven't been made. One makes efforts, but you fall back. And so much more worse. It's like in comparison, you get out of a swimming pool, but then you fall into a deeper well or an ocean, and later in a place where you can't find yourself. So tell your subconscious mind that you need its wisdom. And the subconscious mind is so helpful. It's connected with your soul, the one who's chosen you and your beautiful body to live this life. When you say that we can do it, then all the help will come. But if you request it to send somebody from outside to help you, then you're always going to be dependent. But may you be reminded this beautiful morning that I am enough, that I have it in me to do whatever is good for my highest good, that I may have been a victim of my own conditioning, which I branded upon society or whatever, but I can shake off these limiting beliefs out of my system because I'm a believer, because I believe in the divinity that's unfolding all the time, because I believe that there is so much more that I can be grateful for, because I believe and I know that gratitude is the biggest multiplier. Because even though the world finishes, or so it may look to us, and everything is hopeless, yet there's always a beacon of light shining bright somewhere for us. And there is hope even in the most hopeless situation. Each one of us is sometimes a victim of thinking that we will be happier when something happens. But in truth, things are happening around us. They are already happening for us to count our blessings, to be grateful for. But we are conditioned for something newer. And when the newer comes, something newer. It's an endless game. So be grateful for this energy, for the sensations that are going on in your mind, your analytical conscious mind, and your wisdom filled subconscious mind. See the energy flow from your ears where you're hearing this. That's another energy. Where there's some sensation in your ears, physical sensation. See your eyes, they're closed right now, but you're seeing whatever is being spoken to with your inner eyes. Even the problems that we thought, you saw them. Feel the energy flow in your nose, from where you're able to sense, smell. Your mouth, which opens up when you speak, which opens up when you eat, which opens up when you do some kind of movement. And the mouth and nose is also where the breath work is going in and out from, whether we realize or whether we don't. Connect with the energy in your neck, which is making you stand tall. That's what its work is. To remind us, the neck and the spinal cord, that we have support. We have somebody's back, and that somebody's back is my own back. That I am enough. Whatever I dream and desire is possible when I am focused on it and I'm committed to myself, to my goals, to my achievements, to my life. And if I think that I am committed, then any problem which I think is a problem will fade away. Because finally, my commitment to myself is here. Look at your shoulders. See the energy. So much of baggage you're carrying. Your shoulders are stressed out. Time and again, you have done the meditation to shrug off the weight of your shoulders, of your back. But have you shrugged it energetically? You do it that time and you feel lighter and good about yourself. But then you go back. This is what disrupting harmony is. You think this is harmony, but is it? If it was, life would have been like a breeze. But life isn't. If it is, then count your blessings for that. If it isn't, then you are the one who can make it like a breeze. Let's be grateful to our hands and see the energy flow in that. Who are we without our hands? Right now, also, our hands probably in a mudra or resting comfortably. But otherwise, every waking minute, our hands are helping us. Whether we're reading a book or which is digital platform, or maybe like a hard copy, soft copy, anything, hands are helping you. You're eating something, you're taking a shower, anything and everything you're doing, any activity, the hands help. Feel the energy in your chest, the breath in, the breath out, the diaphragm, and where the beautiful heart is tucked. This heart has so much place to grow and give, and to get. What does it? It wants to get. Now I want this, now I want that. How about now I want to give this, now I want to give that. And once we tune into that bandwidth of just being able to give unconditional love to everyone around us, then you see how beautifully your soul will shine and you will attract only the choices best because you are giving the choices best, doing a service to humanity by spreading the love that we are all born with. So, can we open our hearts and for once just give love and no suggestions? We in our human life are so accustomed to listening to people and ourselves and suggesting, do this, do that. We are somehow controllers, whether we realize or whether we are not. We don't accept for what it is, where it is. So, can we learn to accept and embrace who we are the way we are and pray for betterment of life and implement that betterment of life step by step? Nothing too much too soon. It takes time to make your foundation correct. And every day is a new day. That's how the universe shows. It's cyclical. There's hope every day. When you have a full day to do something meaningful, you have a full night to sleep it out. Of course, some people work in the night and some in the day, and that's fine. If it is fine for them. You see the energy in your chest, but there's so much happening in your heart, where there's so much potential to grow, to give, to give, to give, to give, and get automatically, because it must balance. Allow yourself to open and say, I'm willing to open my heart to give love, and I'm willing to accept love that is there, that's in me. Now scan your wonderful back and feel the energy. Your shoulders are straight, your back is straight. There is so much of hope because life is looking upward. So be grateful for the energy flow and be thankful to the energy, to the love, to the strength, to the agility. Now, scan your abdomen, digestive system. Thank it, see the energy flow. This is where the gas is built up when we abuse our body. This is where stomach aches happen. This is where 2.5, 3.5 kilos of waste food is kept in. Toxicity is arising because we have done ourselves acts of abuse by eating processed food or eating incessantly or eating more than 3 meals a day. So reanalyze where your power is. The lesser you eat, the better you are. The more you eat, the more sick you are. So, how can we make energy enough for us to live and not be dependent upon this food energy all the time? And the lesser food we eat, the more meditation we can do, which in everyday life, every moment of life will be better. What is meditation? Ekagrata, oneness. So, whatever we are doing, we'll become better at that when we're eating lesser. And there's some things that we owe to our families, to our loved ones. Maybe be able to do that because stomach area is also the area where your chakra is, the dream world is, the solar plexus is. Everybody wants to provide for their families more love, more happiness, no physical happiness, more spiritual happiness, more happiness wealth wise, materialistically. May we be able to provide that through whatever we can, however we can. And it is common for men and women, it is not only for men. May we be able to disrupt the routine that we are following and we become conditionally happy with it, whatever our work life is. If it is not happiness giving enough, if it is not making you feel that this is enough, may we be able to tap into that energy that we can do what we want on our own without support system. If I am open and receptive, am I open and receptive? And tell yourself right now, I finally become open and receptive to my own inner wisdom, to my own potential, to my own support system, to the love that surrounds me, and whatever I want, I can do. And I achieve it gracefully, wonderfully, magically. Scan your legs. These are what makes you go in life or stop in life. Tune into the energy. This is what is grounding you to Mother Earth, is giving you more stability. No matter how far our journey has been, how tedious or wonderful our journey has been, these legs always are a reminder that everything is there on the go, that life goes on, that I must walk the path, that no matter how many challenges and hurdles come, these legs will always support me and take me forward. How wonderfully blessed each one of us is. Life is so magical, so beautiful. Maybe tune into these magics, this beauty, this everything that's happening around us. Let's be grateful to Mother Earth for giving her golden healing energy to us, for grounding us, for being there for us, for making us stable by giving us a comfortable place to sit on, walk on. How blessed are we? Life is truly beautiful. And now, take a minute and a half, 100 odd seconds, and let's be grateful for the 10 things right now. Every moment we have things to be thankful for. So rather than scanning the last 24 hours, let's be thankful for this moment. First, our breath, then our pulse, our heart, our soul for helping us go in this inward soul journey, our body for becoming conducive that we can either lie down or walk or whatever we are doing and be listening to the universe for providing us this ambience, allowing us a room with light, a room with sound, a room with air. Either it's air conditioners or the fans or the coolers or just the air. Grateful for the fire in us which wants us to learn, which has a quench to go inward. Grateful for so many things. And now take whatever you wish to thank for. Take 100 seconds. And while you're being thankful, also be in alignment with the energy flow in your body, the tingling, the sensations. Now let's be grateful to the water in our body, which we drink, and that is always there. 70% of us are water, which allows us to go in a flow state so beautifully because that's who we are. We flow. We are aligned to doing things the way they are. Maybe wake up, go piddle, maybe take a shower, maybe brush, maybe clear our stomach, maybe drink our morning beverages if we drink any, maybe hot water, tea, coffee, whatever we're used to. We are flowing in a state because we're used to flowing. So if we are flowing in one direction, we can flow in the other if we want to change. When dams are created, they're reversing the path of water or changing the path of water. Similarly, we too can change. If we have made something comfortable for us, it's in us to make something different for us. We are the creator. We are the preserver. We are the destroyer because we have all the godly energies in us. We can preserve our virtues, whatever is good in us, destroy the ego, destroy the limiting beliefs, destroy what we don't like, and we can create something from the beginning. When every day can die and night be born, night die and day be born. When everyday breath come and breath go, and when trillions of cells die in our body and are reformed, then we are very much in the process of death and birth. So we can easily make things die what don't work for us anymore. Maybe they worked for us at some given point of time, now they don't. So let's drop each one of them, whatever is limiting to our success. And success not only on a materialistic level, on an emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, etheric, every possible level. May we realize that life is all about being equanimous. Can we choose which limb of ours is more important, left or right, this or that? It's all one, right? Similarly, maybe realize everything has consciousness. The watch that kept on your table or which is on your wrist, it has consciousness. That's why it's ticking. The fan or the air conditioners or the mobiles or laptops, they have consciousness. So they are working. Even the thermos, which has water in your room, it has consciousness. That's why whatever we're talking is getting absorbed. Everything has consciousness. Maybe be grateful for that consciousness also. That's why when things are cluttered and kept in your room, they lower your consciousness. Because stagnant energy. And energy has to be always in the go. So maybe relate in our inward journey and bring about changes in our outward journey. That's how simple and magical life is. And now, bring your hands together and let's do the most important vitamin intake, the vitamin P, the power of prayer. Dear universe, I pray for abundance, for love, for light, for evolution, for empowerment, for enlightenment, for love, for gratitude, for strength, for peace, for harmony, for balance, for joy, for laughter, for presence of angels, for the acknowledgement of guardians, for teachers, for teachings. I pray to the God in me. I pray to the God everywhere. And I expand this consciousness by blessing the world. Let's open our hands and bless everybody for this beautiful blessing. Whatever we've prayed for is now bountiful and is spreading far and wide and raising the consciousness, helping Mother Earth's ascension, helping our own ascension. May we all rise and see the love and light. So it is, so be it, so be it, so be it, so it is. And now spread your hands wide, spread them as wide as you can, and say, I am open and receptive to all the magics and miracles, for all the healing that I need at the cellular level and physical level. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thankful for this beautiful, thankful morning. And gently, you can rub your hands, bless your physical eyes, and open them and start a wonderful morning by reading yet another chapter with more beautiful learnings coming our way in chapter number 14 of this wonderful book, Many Lives, Many Masters, authored by Dr. Brian Weiss. So grateful for this beautiful learning which is coming our way. Thank you, Pratima ji, for your gratitude always. 3 weeks paused before we met again. 3 weeks passed before we met again. My brief illness and her vacation had caused a delay. Catherine continued to prosper during this period. But when we began the session, she seemed anxious. She announced that she was doing so well and feeling so much better that she did not feel hypnosis could help her any more than it already had. She was right. Of course. Under ordinary circumstances, we might have begun terminating therapy weeks ago, but continued in part because of my interest in the messages from the masters and because some minor problems still persisted in Catherine's present-day life. Catherine was nearly cured, and the lifetimes are repeating. But what if the masters had more to tell me? How could we communicate without Catherine? I knew she would continue our sessions if I insisted, but I did not feel right about insisting. With some sadness, I agreed with her. We chatted about the events of the past 3 weeks, but my heart was not in it. 5 months drifted by. Catherine maintained her clinical improvement. Her fears and anxieties were minimal. The quality of her life and the relationships was dramatically uplifted. She was dating other men now, although Stuart was still in the picture. For the first time since she was a young child, she felt some joy and real happiness in her life. Occasionally, we would pass each other in the hallway or in the cafeteria line, but we had no formal doctor patient contact. Winter passed and spring began. Catherine scheduled an appointment in the office. She had been having a recurring dream about a religious sacrifice of some sort that involved snakes in a pit. People, including herself, were being forced into the pit. She was in the pit, trying to climb out by digging her hands into the sandy walls. The snakes were just below her. At this point in the dream, she would awaken, her heart pounding wildly. Despite the long hiatus, she fell quickly into a deep hypnotic state. Not surprisingly, she was instantly back in an ancient lifetime. It's very hot where I am. I see two men standing near stone walls that are cold and damp. They have headpieces on. There's a rope around their right ankles. The rope is braided with beads and tassels coming off it. They're making a storage house out of stone and clay, putting wheat in it, some type of crushed grain. The grain is brought in a cart with iron wheels. Woven mats are on the cart, and part of it, I see water, very blue. Someone in charge is giving the orders to the others. There are 3 steps down into the granary. The statue of a god on the outside. He has the head of an animal, a bird, and the body of a man. He's the god of the seasons. The walls are sealed and some sort of tar to prevent air from coming in and keep the grain fresh. My face is itching. I see blue beads in my hair. There are bugs or flies around, making my face and hands itch. I put something sticky on my face to keep them away. It smells terrible. The sap from some tree. I have braids in my hair and beads in my braids with gold strings. My hair is dark black. I'm part of the royal household. I'm there because of some feast. I have come to watch an anointing of priests, a festivity to the gods for the coming harvest. There are only animal sacrifices, no humans. Blood from the sacrificed animals runs from a white stand into a basin. It runs into the mouth of a serpent. The men wear small gold hats. Everyone is dark skinned. We have slaves from other lands, from across the sea. She fell silent, and we are waiting. If the months had never passed, she seemed to become vigilant, listening to something. All is so fast and complicated. What they're telling me about change and growth and different planes. There is a plane of awareness, a plane of transition. We come from one life, and if lessons are completed, we move on to another dimension, another life. We must fully understand. If we do not, if we are not allowed to pass on, we must repeat because we do not learn. We must experience from all sides. We must know the side of wanting, but also to give. There is so much to know, so many spirits involved. This is why we are here. The masters are just one on the plane. Isn't this absolutely magical? Telling us about change and growth and different planes. Right now, we are aware. When we do meditation, that's the wrong word, do meditation. When we meditate, we are becoming more aware. And that is when we feel the power that yes, transition can be done. I can move from this state of mind into this state of mind. And we temporarily shift. But the deal is we must fully understand, and until the lessons are complete, if we do not understand why something is happening again and again to us, if we learn the lessons, we come out of it because then it serves the purpose. It's like you enter a gate, a building, you're walking on a road, and there is no road. The road is through houses. One house will teach you one lesson. So you enter the house, you learn your lesson, and you move out of it. Whatever you had to take the good energy from the house, you've taken it. Whatever you had to discard, you've discarded it. You leave the house, you let go because you have what you needed to have. Otherwise, you will be stuck in that house and not be able to move out. You'll be stuck from one room to another, to another, to another, same consciousness. And you will be stuck there because you're not ready to move. So it's very important to let go and move, to keep giving. That's what this paragraph is telling us. We must fully understand. If we do not, we are not allowed to pass on. We must repeat because we do not learn. We must experience from all sides. Each one of us wants, yes, but we also need to give. There is so much to know. So many spirits are involved. That's why we are here. Today, it's not a normal day that we are learning every morning. Even though it's similar, it's familiar, it's new. Different messages come to us every day. But the language spoken is similar, spiritual language. Catherine paused and spoke with the voice of the poet master. He was speaking to me. What we tell you is for now. You must now learn through your own intuition. That's the biggest blessing we can be reminded of, that our intuition is always there. And this intuition is nothing but guidance from the angel guardians, our own soul, which is so wise and which is supported by angels and guardians, spirit guides, masters, teachers. Look at the spiritual support system we have. Are we alone? Never. The universe is one, we are one. The masters are always there looking over us. Sometimes we think we're in a problem, not able to get out, but there is a way out. And we need to find that with their support, with their guidance. We are never alone, ever, ever. In human world, we may think that this person doesn't understand me, that person doesn't understand me, but really do they not? If they're telling us to do something, it's because they love us in their own way. So they're guiding us, mentoring us, guarding us, protecting us. Now, if we start looking at all of these things as blessings, then we will tap into the world of blessings. Intuition is the biggest best friend we have been gifted. But are we listening and tuning into intuition? And when we do that, when we start giving our trust into intuition, we will get the gift of being more intuitive. Then we will already know what's unfolding around us. Won't that be magical? That you are in the harmony, then there are no surprises, there's no uncertainty because everything is certain. You know what's happening. You trust the process. You are intuitive. After a few moments, Catherine spoke in a soft whisper. There's a black fence within our tombstones. Yours is there. Mine? Yes. Can you read the inscription? The name is Noble, 1668 to 1724. There's a flower on it. It is in France or Russia. We were in red uniform, thrown from a horse. There is a gold ring with a lion's head used as an insignia. There are no more. There was no more. I interpreted the poet master's statements to mean there would be no more revelations through Catherine's hypnosis, and this was indeed the case. We were to have no further sessions. Her cure had been complete, and I had learned all that I could through the regressions. The rest was what lay in the future. I had to learn through my own intuition. Now, finally, Dr. Weiss has to let Catherine go because he's been told that intuition is your best friend. It's always there. Learn to go with your intuition. We begin chapter 15. 2 months after our last session, Catherine called and scheduled an appointment. She said she had something very interesting to tell me. When she walked into the office, the presence of the new Catherine, happy, smiling, and radiating an inner peace that made her glow, briefly surprised me. For a moment, I thought about the old Catherine and how far she had come in such a short time. Catherine had gone to see Iris Salzman, a well known psychic astrologer who specialized in past life readings. I was a little surprised, but I understood Catherine's curiosity and her need to seek some added confirmation for what she had experienced. I was glad she had the confidence to do this. Catherine had recently heard about Iris from a friend. She had called and made an appointment without telling Iris about anything that had transpired in my office. Iris had called her only for the date, time, and place of her birth. From this, Iris explained to her she would construct an astrological wheel that, in conjunction with Iris's intuitive gifts, would enable her to discern details from Catherine's past lives. This was Catherine's first experience with a psychic, and she really didn't know what to expect. To her amazement, Iris validated most of what Catherine had discovered under hypnosis. Iris gradually worked herself into an altered state by talking and by making notations on the hastily constructed astrological graphs. Minutes after she had entered the state, Iris reached for her own throat and announced that Catherine had been strangled and had had her throat cut in a previous life. The throat cutting had been in a time of war, and Iris could see flames and destruction in the village many centuries ago. She had said that Catherine had been a young man at the time of his death. Iris's eyes appeared glazed as she described Catherine as a young male dressed in naval uniform with short black pants and shoes with old buckles on them. Suddenly, Iris grabbed her left wrist and felt a throbbing pain, exclaiming that something sharp had entered and damaged the hand, leaving a permanent scar. There were such large sea battles, and the location was off the English coast. She went on to describe a life of sailing. Iris described small fragments of lifetimes. There was a brief life in Paris where Catherine was again a boy that had died young in poverty. Another time, she was a female American Indian on the southwest Florida coast. During this lifetime, she was a healer and walked around barefoot. She was dark skinned and had odd eyes. She would apply ointments to wounds and give herbal medicines, and she was very, very psychic. She loved to wear blue stone jewelry, a lot of lapis lazuli with a red stone intertwined. In another lifetime, Catherine was Spanish and had lived as a prostitute. Her name began with the letter L. She lived with an older man. In another life, she was the illegitimate daughter of a wealthy father who had many titles. Iris saw the family crest on mugs in the large house. She said that Catherine was very fair and had long, tapering fingers. She played the harp. Her marriage was arranged. Catherine loved animals, especially horses, and she knew the animals better than the people around her. In a brief lifetime, she was a young Moroccan boy who died of an illness in his youth. Once she lived in Haiti, speaking the language and involved in magical practices. In an ancient lifetime, she was Egyptian and was involved in the burial rites of the culture. She was a female with braided hair. She had several lifetimes in France and Italy. In one, she lived in Florence and was involved with religion. She later moved to Switzerland, where she was involved with the monastery. She was a female and had two sons. She was fond of gold and gold sculpture, and she wore a gold cross. In France, she had been imprisoned in a cold and dark place. In another life, Iris saw Catherine as a male in a red uniform, involved with horses and soldiers. The uniform was red and gold, probably Russian. In yet another lifetime, she was a Nubian slave in ancient Egypt. At one point, she was captured and thrown into jail. In still another life, Catherine was a male in Japan, involved with books and teaching, very scholarly. She worked with schools and lived to an old age. And finally, there was a more recent life as a German soldier who was killed in battle. I was fascinated by the detailed accuracy of these past life events as described by Iris. The correspondence to Catherine's own recall while under hypnotic regression was startling. Christian's hand injury while in a naval battle and the description of his clothes and shoes. Louis's life as a Spanish prostitute, Aronda and the Egyptian burials. Johann, the young raider, whose throat was cut by a previous incarnation of Stuart while Stuart's village had burned. Eric, the doomed German pilot, and so on. There was also correspondences to Catherine's present life. For example, Catherine loved blue stone jewelry, especially lapis lazuli. She was not wearing any. However, during her reading with Iris, she had always loved animals, especially horses and cats, feeling safer with them than with people. And if she could pick one place in the world to visit, it would be Florence. By no means would I call this experience a wild scientific experiment. I had no way of controlling the variables, but it happened. I think it is important to relate is here. I am not sure what occurred that day. Perhaps Iris unconsciously used telepathy and read Catherine's mind since the past lifetimes are already in Catherine's subconscious. Or perhaps Iris really was able to discern past life information by the use of her psychic abilities. However, it was done, the two of them obtained the same information by different means. What Catherine had arrived at through hypnotic regression, Iris had reached through psychic channels. Very few people would be able to do what Iris did. Many people who call themselves psychics are merely capitalizing on people's fears as well as their curiosity about the unknown. Today's psychic hacks and fakes seem to be coming out of the woodwork. The popularity of books such as Shirley MacLaine's Out on a Limb has brought forth a torrent of new trance mediums. Many rove around advertising their presence locally and they sit in a trance, telling an enraptured and awestruck audience such platitudes as if you are not in harmony with nature, nature will not be in harmony with you. These pronouncements are usually intoned in a voice quite different from the medium's own voice, tinged with a foreign accent of some sort. The messages are vague and applicable to a wide variety of people. Often the messages deal principally with the spiritual dimensions which are difficult to evaluate. It is important to weed out the false from the true so that the field is not discredited. Serious behavioral scientists are needed to do this important work. Psychiatrists are necessary to make diagnostic assessments to rule out mental illness, malingering, faking, and sociopathic conning tendencies. Statisticians, psychologists, and physicians are also vital for these evaluations and further testing. The important strides that are going to be made in the field will be made using scientific methodology. In science, a hypothesis, which is a preliminary assumption made about a series of observations, is initially created to explain a phenomenon. From there, the hypothesis must be tested under controlled conditions. The results of these tests must be proved and replicated before a history can be formed. Once the scientists have what they think is a sound theory, it must be tested again and again by other researchers, and the results should be the same. The detailed, scientifically acceptable studies of Dr. Joseph B. Ryan at Duke University, of Dr. Ian Stevenson at the University of Virginia, Department of Psychiatry, of Dr. Gertrude Skemelder at the College of the City of New York, and of many other serious researchers prove that this can be done. Now we're fast forwarding to chapter 14. Almost 4 years have passed since Catherine and I shared this incredible experience. It has changed us both profoundly. On occasion, she drops into my office to say hello or to discuss a problem that she's having. She has never had the need nor the desire to be regressed again, either to deal with the symptom or to find out how new people in her life may have related to her in the past. Our work is done. Catherine is now free to fully enjoy her life, no longer crippled by her disabling symptoms. She has found a sense of happiness and contentment that she never thought was possible. She no longer fears illness or death. Life has a meaning and purpose for her now that she's balanced and in harmony with herself. She radiates an inner peace that many wish for, but few attain. She feels more spiritual. To Catherine, what has happened is all very real. She does not doubt the veracity of any of it, and she accepts it all as an integral part of who she is. She has no interest in pursuing the study of psychic phenomena, feeling that she knows in a way that cannot be learned from books or lectures. People who are dying or have a family member dying often seek her out. They seem drawn to her. She sits and talks to them and they feel better. My life has changed almost as drastically as Catherine's. I have become more intuitive, more aware of the hidden secret parts of my patients, colleagues, and friends. I seem to know a great deal about them even before I should. My values and life goals have shifted to a more humanistic, less accumulative focus. Psychics, mediums, healers, and others appear in my life with increasing frequency, and I have started to systematically evaluate their abilities. Carol has developed along with me. She has become particularly skillful in death and dying counseling, and she now runs support groups for patients dying from AIDS. I have begun to meditate, something that until recently I thought only Hindus and Californians practiced. The lessons transmitted through Catherine have become a conscious part of my daily life, remembering the deeper meaning of life and of death as a natural part of life. I've become more patient, more empathetic, more loving. I also feel more responsible for my actions, the negative as well as the lofty. I know there will be a price to pay. What goes around truly does come around. That's another lesson we all must tune into. जैसा हम करेंगे वैसा हम भरेंगे. Every action has equal and opposite reaction. There are consequences for our thoughts, our actions, our deeds. Even right now that we're studying, there are going to be beneficial results from this study. There's no question, there's no way out. They will come. Dr. Weiss says, I still write scientific papers, lecture at professional meetings, and run the Department of Psychiatry, but now I straddle two worlds, the phenomenal world of the five senses, represented by our bodies and physical needs, and the greater world of the non physical planes, represented by our souls and spirits. I know that the world are connected, and that is, and all is energy. Yet they often seem so far apart. My job is to connect the worlds, to carefully and scientifically document the unity. Isn't that what we all are doing also? Thanks, Dr. Wise. We read the book, and in the end, we try and go in a trance or a connection with the supernatural world in the higher dimensions, where we are able to get some messaging from downloads, or we sleep in the trance, or something happens, and we know that healing is happening. What is our job? Just to show up for the sessions, meditate, and whatever is being guided to us that day. I have no script. I do not know what we are going to be reading. Nothing. I mean, the books have been read years ago. Don't know how many more chapters are coming, but yeah, it's coming to conclusion because Catherine's sessions are over. My family had flourished. Carol and Amy have turned out to have above average psychic abilities, and we've playfully encouraged the further development of these skills. Jordan has become a powerful and charismatic teenager, a natural leader. I'm finally becoming less serious, and I sometimes have unusual dreams. This is also very important. Dr. Weiss is shifting his energy. He says, I used to be very serious. Now I'm not that serious because I've started flowing. If you read the words, now he's flowing. And what is he realizing? That people around him in his family are also growing beautifully. They're also flowing. So when we shift our consciousness, the consciousness around our people will shift. If we become believers, they will also become believers. It's inevitable. During several months after Catherine's last session, a peculiar tendency had begun to appear during my sleep. I would sometimes have a vivid dream during which I would either be listening to a lecture or asking questions of the lecturer. The teacher's name in the dream was Philo. Upon awakening, I would sometimes remember some of the material discussed and jotted down. I'm including a few examples here. The first was a lecture, and I recognize the influence of the messages from the masters. Wisdom is, again, read this very carefully. Wisdom is achieved very slowly. This is because intellectual knowledge, easily acquired, must be transformed into emotional or subconscious knowledge. Once transformed, the imprint is permanent. Behavioral practice is the necessary catalyst of this reaction. Without action, the concept will wither and fade. Theoretical knowledge without practical application is not enough. Isn't that what we are doing? Theory पढ़ रहे हैं, but practically उसको meditative state में जाकर subconscious mind में conditioning बदल रहे हैं हम. Balance and harmony are neglected today, yet they are the foundations of wisdom. Everything is done to excess. People are overweight because they eat excessively. Joggers neglect aspects of themselves and others because they run excessively. People seem excessively mean. They drink too much, smoke too much, carouse too much, or too little, talk too much without content. Why too much? There is too much black or white thinking, all or none. This is not the way of nature. Like लोग बोलते ना, for me everything is black and white. There are no shades of gray. Shades of grey क्या? There are rainbows in the middle. विबग्योर है बीच में. Life is multiple realms, layers. Dr. Weiss says in nature there's balance. Beasts destroy in small amounts. Ecological systems are not eliminated en masse. Plants are consumed and then grow. The source of sustenance are dipped into and then replenished. The flower is enjoyed, the fruit eaten, the root preserved. Humankind has not learned about balance, let alone practiced it. It is guided by greed and ambition, steered by fear. Now, this is very, very, very important for us to relate to. We are all greedy, we all are ambitious, whether we realize or whether we don't. And fear has somehow become second skin. ये नहीं होगा तो क्या होगा? ऐसा नहीं होगा तो कैसे करूंगी? ऐसा नहीं होगा तो फिर कैसे कर पाऊंगा? In this way, it will eventually destroy itself. But nature will survive, at least the plants will. Happiness is really rooted in simplicity. The tendency to excessiveness in thought and actions diminish happiness. Excess clouds basic values. Religious people tell us that happiness comes from filling one's heart with love, from faith and hope, from practicing charity and dispensing kindness. They actually are right. Given those attitudes, balance and harmony usually follow. These are collectively a state of being. In these days, there is an altered state of consciousness. It is if humankind were not in its natural sense while on earth. It must reach an altered state in order to fill itself with love and charity and simplicity, to feel purity, to rid itself of its chronic fearfulness. Tomorrow we'll talk about how to reach that altered state of consciousness. We'll start from here, right? Let's tune back into our wonderful bodies. By helping become comfortable, lying down or sitting more comfortably, eliminating any kind of physical discomfort. One of you asked me, can I be lying down on my side? Yes, you can be. You don't have to be on your back. You just had to become comfortable. For those of you who have an agenda for your morning routines, you can do this later when you're comfortable. The recorded sessions are always there. Some of you are practicing in the afternoon, that's fine. Some of you are practicing while the session is on, that's fine. Some of you switch off the session immediately, and that's fine. Some of you continue to meditate, and that's fine. Everything is fine. Whatever feels right for you is fine. Now I invite you to bring your consciousness back to your breathe in and breathe out. The purpose for deep breathing is to just become more centered, balanced, and aligned. So I request you to work on your conscious breathing. With your own comfort zone, take a deep breath in and a deeper breath out. You're counting your breathing. The more deeper you can hold comfortably, and the more deeper you can exhale comfortably, is the count for you. This too can change from time to time. As you're breathing in deeper and breathing out deeper, you're tuning into your own inner higher self. You're tuning into a world of higher consciousness. You're shifting from your analytical mind to your beautiful, blessed mind. If there's any question or intention to be helped upon, state that now, so that the masters, angel guardians, and spirit world will help you, will give you the answers when you are entering your subconscious mind state super soon. If there's no intention, that's also fine. Now, as I count from 3 to 1, you will be entering your conscious state of mind, subconscious state of mind. 3, your eyes are heavy. You're going in deeper and deeper. 2, you're ready for the magics to unfold. 1, this is your safe space to ask for guidance or just hear whatever is coming, to experience whatever is coming, to see whatever is coming. Be blessed.